The Caped Crusader is easily one of the most recognizable faces across the globe. Known for his brooding demeanor and gadgets of choice, he was first introduced to the big screen in the 1960s and was an instant hit. But there was more mystery afoot than just what happened on the show. From scandalous secrets on set to quirky spin-offs and memorabilia being released, here are 10 weird facts about the 1960s Batman show. What could Batman and the team have been up to on the set of the show? And why was the show actually canceled? Let's find out together. Number 10. Robin, the boy wonder who earned a pittance. Adam West, the actor who played the titular character of Batman on screen, was paid a handsome $2,000 per episode in the 60s, which is the equivalent of $21,000 per episode by today's standards. But what's surprising is that Burt Ward, the actor who played the role of Robin, was only paid a meager $350 per episode. This was due to Burt being a relatively unknown name in the movie industry at the time. Number 9. The Green Hornet and the Caped Crusader. Believe it or not, the 60s had some of the craziest crossovers of its time, with none more iconic than the crossover between the Green Hornet and the Caped Crusader of the night. The two crime fighters acknowledged each other's existence and even seemed to promote each other's shows, with advertisements for their programs showing up in each other's show. The crossover between the two shows helped introduce fans to the iconic martial arts of Bruce Lee. The four of them would then team up in a later episode to defeat Colonel Gum and save the day. Number 8. The Origins of Barbara Gordon. Barbara Gordon, the daughter of Jim Gordon, is an iconic member of the Bat family, with her role being crucial to the Batman mythos. But what many Batman fans don't know is that Barbara Gordon as a character only came into existence because of the 60s TV show. Her character did not exist till William Dozier made a request to DC Comics to introduce her for the show's continuity. Yvonne Craig was introduced as Barbara Gordon in the 3rd season of the show. Yvonne Craig's Batgirl was the first superheroine to feature on TV screens and became a hit among many of the children who watched the show. But sadly, Yvonne's character was a last-ditch effort to raise interest in the show, which it failed to do, but Barbara Gordon ended up staying. Number 7. Batman's attempts at romance. The 60s was an era in which humanity saw many changes taking place in a short span of time, with many counterculture movements like the hippie culture taking off, but nothing was more surprising than Batman's attempt to sing a song. Adam West released a single during the show's run in which he embodies the role of Batman trying his hand at wooing a woman, but is constantly interrupted by the boy wonder Robin. The song is definitely no jazz classic and is certainly an acquired taste, but is definitely worth a listen if you consider yourself a fan of Batman. Number 6. From saving Gotham to public service announcements. Adam West initially donned the costume just for the show, but he eventually began to realize just how influential the character was. Batman resonated not just with children, but with adults as well. And as such, he believed that he had an obligation to use this character to raise awareness on several matters. The 60s were a time when many conventional habits like smoking were discovered to be extremely harmful. But it wasn't just limited to health campaigns. Batman was also used to inform the public about the gender pay disparity and the people's right to vote during a time when the foundations of democracy were called into question in places like the United States. How many facts about the 1960s version of the Caped Crusader were you aware of? Let us know down in the comments section. And if you've enjoyed the video so far, make sure to like this video. Number 5. Batman was almost an NFL quarterback. Ed Graham, one of the producers of the Batman TV show, initially envisioned a much more serious take on the Caped Crusader, just like his counterpart Superman had in the 50s in The Adventures of Superman. So you can imagine his disappointment when he saw the kitschy, campy take that the show eventually embodied in its final production. Graham's had initially offered CBS the chance to produce the show, and they had taken him up on the offer and even cast Los Angeles Rams quarterback Mike Henry to play the role of Batman. But CBS kept delaying production, which made Henry back out, and opt for the role of Tarzan instead. The show was eventually picked up by ABC, which led to a recasting where Adam West was cast instead. Number 4. Frank Sinatra as the Joker. Now, if you think Cesar Romero was over the top as the Joker, just imagine silk-voiced Frank Sinatra leading the role instead. Apart from the fact that Frank had known affiliations with the mob, watching the man we know as the face of American jazz put on white makeup, red lipstick, and dye his hair green would have been incredibly odd. Frank had expressed his interest in showing up on the show in some capacity and was initially considered for the role of Joker, but that spot was eventually filled in by Cesar Romero, who became a staple of Batman's enemy roster. Just imagine just how odd it would have been to watch Sinatra crooning in his iconic voice while threatening Adam West's Batman. But if you thought that's crazy, check out what's coming up next. Number 3. The Batmobile only cost $1. Believe it or not, the Batmobile technically cost just a single dollar. Of course, this isn't the entire truth, but it's not a lie either. The sleek, elegant Batmobile was a concept car called Futura, built by the Lincoln Motor Company. While the car cost $250,000 to build, it ended up just being a concept car that was never released for sale. Seeing no further use for the car, they sold it to George Barris, a car customizer, for $1 whole. You heard that right? The car eventually found purpose again when the studio called Barris and requested a car for the Batmobile. Barris added around $30,000 worth of modifications and converted the Futura into the iconic Batmobile that we all know of today. Number 2. Batman on and off screen. West had launched into worldwide acclaim for his portrayal of Batman. He was the first ever person to physically play the role of Batman and was revered by many for the same. But West wasn't just awesome on screen. He was a real-life crime-stopping crusader even when the cameras weren't on him. When vacationing in Maui, the caped crusader had noticed a man who was wielding a machete and walking towards a woman. When he realized that the man had the intention to hurt the girl with the machete, he used his lounge chair to get in between the man and the woman and pin the criminal till the authorities arrived. Number 1. Teaching British children to cross roads. Although Batman was intended for global audiences, the Batman TV show was only aired in America. But this did not stop the show from becoming popular internationally. The British also widely revered it and had a cult following behind it. Batman had become the face of the 60s and, as such, was featured on many public service announcements, like the benefits of savings bonds, like we talked about before. But what truly surprised fans is when Batman took to the streets of Britain not to fight crime, but to teach road safety. This unexpected public information film, or PF for short, was made for the Central Office of Information, and it featured Batman taking a break from crime fighting to teach proper road safety techniques. How many of these facts have you heard of before? Let us know down below in the comment section. And if you've enjoyed this video on the Caped Crusader, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell for more.